और HDMI और पेन इन लोगों को चाहिए, ठीक है। एक ही HDMI और एक ही पेन, एक HDMI एक पेन, बस जस्ट कमिंग ऑन दिस।
Okay, so we will today talk about collaborative filtering, which is used for not only collaborative filtering, but the main topic is recommendation systems. So I'm sure how many of you have subscribed to Medium or towards data science? Kal se lege. Okay, very good. So the elbow method is increasing. But the elbow method is decreasing in the number of students attending the class. Okay, but that's very natural. Uh, so recommendation. So now, if you have already subscribed, have you received any email from towards data science or Medium? So what is happening that maybe you have clicked on certain articles and you are being recommended something similar articles, right? And if let's suppose Amazon, have you ever bought something on Amazon? Okay, so you see below that people who have bought this have also bought this, right? So that's another example of recommendation systems. So when you have so much data, the question is that how companies try to understand that what is your preference, possible preference, and what can we recommend you. Okay, so basically this is what the recommendation system is at the back end. The recommendation system is working and it is trying which products or items to be recommended to whom. That's the idea of recommendation system. And we will see basically three approaches which can be used by these companies to recommend a certain item. We can skip this. And why companies are recommending more? Because people have a tendency to buy things, right? It's like Instagram reels. Once you start checking one reel, you are being stuck there and you keep checking more and more. So similarly, if you like a product, you will again go there, and especially if it's let's say lucrative website. Let's say, I don't know how many of you know wish.com. Have you heard of this? So it's more, or there are Mizo. Ad comes on television, right? So Joe Kurta, you get it in 700, you might get it in 150, right? It's a very Indian website, e-commerce, and it gives you cheap products. Not cheap products, so the prices are cheap. I've never bought anything, so I don't know whether the products are good quality or bad. But anyways, so here, I mean, especially on e-commerce websites, that's the important role of recommendation systems are. And companies are doing because they want to generate more profit. They want people to spend more money. Okay, and people will spend only when they see relevant products. If you are not interested in an item which you don't wear, and if the company start recommending you, you might not visit that website, realizing that it's not recommending good products or relevant products, right? Now, so there are two ways, business practices. One is cross-selling, another is upselling. Okay, we will see examples. So let's suppose you are in a kind of McDonald's or KFC. I would never recommend you to go there. It's very unhealthy. Uh, but if still you go there, so you're there and you have that you would like to have a burger, okay, vegetarian burger, and then this lady also tells you, sir or madam, why don't you buy these potato chips, and it's, let's say, it will cost you maybe 50 rupees, and we can give you a drink for free. A better example is if you go for a date and you have the budget only for Italian pasta, but then the waiter comes there and he says that, sir or ma'am, generally, I don't want to be stereotypical, so let's say, sir or madam, with this pasta, this wine goes very well. So what this guy is doing? He's doing basically cross-selling. So you had that this, I mean, wine is generally costlier, but like let's go for a cheaper drink like cider. Cider doesn't go very well with pasta. It's wine. Generally, if you have heavy cheese Italian stuff, the wine goes very well. So, but the wine is costlier generally. It's not that cheap. I don't know how cheap it could be here. 1500?
Yeah.
Okay. So but let's take a toy example. So what he's doing, that the main burger or main dish is the main thing that you wanted to buy, but he's trying to sell another thing with the main product or the main food item. That's cross selling. You are kind of, you go to website to buy a mobile, and below you see with this mobile you can buy this headphone and you get minus 10% discount. That's another cross selling, because you might end up paying 20,000, 30,000 for a mobile, but 500 and 600 rupees the company is tempting that you might spend up, because you see there is a discount, right? So this headphone with the mobile is a cross selling. So you have the main product, but along with that you have a small cheaper product. This whole idea is called cross selling. Okay, and the idea is to generate more profits for the companies. These are some of the bookish definition, but I think now you know what is cross selling. How many of you use Spotify? Everybody uses. Very good. So in the free you don't have those features, right? If you go for a premium, you get all these features. So what the company is doing, it is trying to do upselling. The product is the same, but if you pay more, you get more features, right? You are not buying another product with it. You are spending more on the same product, and you get extra features. You have a budget, and let's suppose someone who gets newly married and they go to buy a television in the electronic shop, and there is a salesman, and he say what, and he comes and smiles and say, what would you like to buy? The couple says, our budget is, how much a television cost here? 15,000. Okay, 15 for a LED.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's suppose this is your budget, and then he shows you, you will get this, that, and then he says, sir, I know you want to buy this product, but let me show you something. I don't know you have experienced this, but then they will take you to another television. They will say, sir, you have to pay just 5,000 more. It gives you a 3D effect with better sound quality, and if the madam has already said yes, then the guy is in trouble. Okay, so the idea is that the product, that is the television, remains the same, but you are being tempted to spend more to get more features, right? So this is upselling. I hope the difference is clear. So let's take a airline scenario, right? You have to travel from, let's say, from Delhi to Bangalore for an interview, and the company says that, okay, the economy class you get only 8 kg, but if you spend more, that is, we go to business class, you get maybe another 20 kgs, and you will get free meals, for example. Is it cross-selling or upselling? Is it cross-selling or upselling? How many of you think it's cross-selling? How many of you think it's upselling? Is it a voting going on? Idhar udhar dekh ke let's raise our hand. Who says it's upselling? Hey, 1, 2, who else? You also raised your hand, right? I saw you. And what do you think? It's cross-selling or upselling? You don't know. Anybody else in this row knows? देखेंगे. Okay, so why you raise your hand for upselling? Why you think it's upselling? Why you think this use case or buying an air ticket or being tempted to show an air ticket from economy to business class is upselling? But you raised your hand. I thought you understood the question. Why you think it's upselling? You don't have to stand there. Just raise your volume.
क्योंकि सर ये इसके पहले ये फीचर उसके अवेलेबल मिलते होंगे.
Okay, I got it. Any one of you think it's cross-selling? Why you think it's cross-selling?
सर जैसे इकोनॉमी क्लास है उसमें जो मतलब पैसेंजर उसके पास जो उसको चीजें मिलती हैं वो कम है, सुविधाएं उसके पास कम है. और जो बिजनेस क्लास है उसमें सुविधाएं ज़्यादा होती हैं. तो जब टिकट बेचते तो ऐसा तो कहेंगे नहीं कि आपको एनवायरनमेंट चाहिए अपने लाइफ की, वो उनको ऐसा कहेंगे कि आपको सीट अच्छी मिलेगी, इस सीट से अच्छी सीट मिलेगी, वहाँ पे आपको एक सिंगल सीट मिलेगी, कंफर्ट जोन मिलेगा, वहाँ पे आपको टीवी स्क्रीन मिलेगी, हेडफोन मिलेंगे, आपको ड्रिंक्स मिलेंगे, आपको फूड अच्छा खाना मिलेगा. तो इसलिए वो मेरे जहाँ तक मेरी समझ है मेरे लिए वो क्रॉस है.
Okay, thank you. It's an upselling example. Why? Because the seat, you basically have to travel from one place to another, right? Like television. You just need a television. But if you spend more, you get more features. Similarly, this is an upselling. So this is not important whether some use case is upselling and cross-selling, but idea should be clearer to you. Because if you know, let's suppose you are started working in a company and the company says that let's introduce these features on our platform. So you should understand whether it's going to be an upselling or cross-selling. So how can we tempt our customers to get this product or buy this product, right? So this should be clear. So this is a definition of upselling on the top and the cross-selling below. I think we don't need to discuss this, right? Okay. Generally in cross-selling, what happens is that when you have the, can you please close the door? Thank you. So when you have this main product and a side product, a main product and the side product is generally much cheaper than the main product. Okay. And
I have a question, sir, regarding to the same airline thing. Like, when we take an example of Emirates airline, whenever, let's say we have to go from New Delhi to New York, they will make sure you stop in Dubai, have some layovers, so that you can explore Abu Dhabi or Dubai, and use their. So what kind of business strategy would be that? Because they are making sure you stay in Dubai for some couple of hours, so you have a layover, and then you go. The main intention being you spend some money in Dubai and hope to generate some more economy for them.
that's not cross-selling or upselling.
Upselling,
I mean, this is a different idea
Idea.
concept. I mean, this is basically because each airline has its own hubs, right? And it's more of a optimization of airlines path rather than, I mean, of course, the side thing is that when you end up being in a layover, you might spend some money, right? Depends. I have never spent it. We used to take our own food from home, and there is nothing wrong in that, right? We saw it on an Instagram or somewhere where a guy and his mom was eating home cooked parathas, right? So anyway, this is we don't have to go in that way, but this is a different thing according to me. Okay, so in upselling, you basically have to show the benefits and generally the price of the another product that you are being shown to the customers, it shouldn't be like, let's say, more than around 25%, 10%, and so on. Okay. So the question is, does this cross-selling or upselling really helps companies? Yes. So around Amazon has reported, I'm sure you know Amazon, right? So has reported around 35% of its sales to cross-selling. So cross-selling means you have bought a book and below you are being shown different books, right? So you say, okay, I like this book. Oh, I never heard of this book. Maybe I should go and read this book also. Okay, if you are an avid reader. So okay. So the question is that who, that is, first thing is how to identify a customer, okay, and what products you need to show to them, when and where and how, okay. So I think we will mainly focus on the first two part and not the last two part. So here how means, if you look at your screen where you have opened eBay or Amazon or whatever, how means on which part of this screen you should show this product, but generally it's on the bottom left, the products, the new products, okay. When and where means at which phase, at which time you have to show. You cannot start showing the products on the first screen itself, right? Let the person type what he's looking for. Then he browse something, then you start showing the product. So that's what we meant by when and where, okay. Who, that is customers, and what is needs to be shown, this is what we will mainly focus on, and basically what, that is what we have to show. So I don't want to talk about this customer life cycle, that it comes in the growth part of this, but let's focus on the main things, that how to solve this problem, okay. What products we needs to be shown and to whom, recommendation system. There are three strategies that we will check in this class, and two are what products, that is popularity and market basket analysis. Have you heard of association rule mining?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you studied that?
Mathematics. Association rule mathematics. Associativity.
नहीं, not associate.
We have heard of the term, but we have not really studied it. Like
In your class you have not studied that.
Not
Okay, we
studied.
will check it out. Okay, we will discuss that. What is market basket analysis? These two things, they can answer what products needs to be shown, but they do not answer whom to show. Collaborative filtering tells you what products needs to be shown and to whom. And if it doesn't make sense, don't worry. This will be clearer when we start seeing these approaches. Okay. So in a, let's suppose there is a shop in Shimla about books. It's very, very popular. But can you, let's suppose, you might find Harry Potter, you might find maybe some other popular books, Game of Thrones, okay. What else?
The Witcher.
the monk who sold his Ferrari,
The monk who's, yeah, I heard of it.
alchemist.
Alchemist, yes. I have just read, I think, two books in my life. One is Alchemist, and the other is The Curious Case of Dog at the Night Time. And I think the both are very good. I could understand what is going on. Otherwise, after a few pages, I get lost. Okay. Anyways, so let's suppose there is a bookshop in Shimla, main city center. Do you think it can keep all the books that any person might be interested in? Because it has a limited space, and the tendency of this bookshop is to keep popular books, unless the other kind of books which they could keep this very rare books and so on, right? So this is the problem, okay? So if we look at the graph, I hope you can see it at the bottom right. If on the y-axis is the popularity, and the x-axis is the products, only I think we talked about this Pareto's law, right?
Yeah,
20%, 80%. So again, you see, 20% of the books are kind of 80% popular. Very few books are very, a lot, they are very, in terms of their popularity scale, they are very high. But then there are a lot of products and books which are not popular, right? Gardening, cooking. Very few people have very limited interest, right? So they are not so popular. So this is the problem with the physical kind of space when you have these books and you are trying to sell these books. But this is not the problem with the online things like Amazon, because they have their stores outside. Of course, a physical bookshop can also have this, and then he will say, okay sir, next week if you come or so, we will bring you these books, right? So some examples of recommendation systems like LinkedIn. If you have an account in LinkedIn, you might be recommended jobs, for example, right? Facebook, friends. I mean, it's an old example. I think I should replace it with Instagram now, right? So you might be interested in following this, or on Twitter, right? So how many of you use Facebook now? 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't tell it to others, because it shows your age. You should tell, like, I don't use, I am an Instagram guy, because the young generation uses Instagram. So so the Amazon, right? You are being recommended books. So the first approach, now we will start seeing the approaches, okay? First is popularity based recommendation system. So if let's suppose you are not logged in to your Google account. So if you open news.google.com, what you see is different from when you are logged in your Google account, because when you are logged in, you might be shown Indian news, right? Or the news you have read last week, for example. You clicked it and Google knows that, okay, you like this kind of news, so maybe I should show that kind of similar news. And same happens on YouTube, for example, right? The more kind of music you see on YouTube, YouTube start recommending you that kind of videos. Okay, so anyways, if you are not logged in, and if you say news, or you check the products, what you are being shown is the popular products. People who are buying, who have bought these products, okay? This approach can bring you, or an organization, 80% of the profit, right? Because most of the people end up buying popular things. It can help. Okay, but what about the 80% of the things? So if we look at, I just typed it, okay, 2 most popular products. And this is what being shown to me, that is smartwatches, video doorbells, facial mask. At least I don't see a relation between facial masks and video doorbells, or facial masks to smartwatches. Smartwatches and video doorbells could be some related, but actually these are not related, right? So if you have to show products, let's say you have this page, your website, and this is being shown to the users. Will you show a smartwatch, then video doorbells and facial mask on the same page? It looks very weird to me, at least. Okay, so popularity is okay, but the problem with the popularity approach is it doesn't helps you, or it lacks the association between the products, right? So let's go to another problem, which solution, which is called market basket analysis, which is basically association rule mining. So bread and butter, right? It goes very well. With these shoes, with this dress, these shoes will go well. With these jeans, these shoes, and these, sorry if you are vegetarian, sausages with beer, okay? So there is an association of products which people might find it interesting, they would like to buy it and try it, right? So So the idea of this market basket analysis is basically to identify the association that which products are very similar to each other and which can be recommended. Okay, and what it has is you have a list of products and it tries to identify the association and how it works. But before we move to the algorithm, let's try to see some terms which we will use in the algorithm. Okay, so the first thing is the items. Okay, items, for example, bread is an item, butter is an item, milk is an item, chips is an item. Okay, so these are an items, and a collection of these items is a transaction. So for example, when somebody goes to supermarket and he says, in one go I have fruits, vegetable, milk, bread, butter and so on, and he goes to the cash counter and he pays the bill. So you see a list of products, right, prices, and total price is this. This is one transaction. In one transaction you can have 20 products, you might have 5 and so on. So another person comes, he or she might buy another X number of products or items. This is another transaction. So this is a transaction. Okay, so I hope these two things are clear to you. Okay, now rules. This is what we have to identify from these set of transactions. These transactions could be in millions. Okay, these transactions could be in millions. If let's suppose per day in a shop 10,000 people come, let's suppose, depending on the population of the city, 10,000 people do 10,000 transaction happens, and in a month it could be somewhat in how much, 30,000, no, more than that, 300,000. Okay, 300,000 is 3 lakhs, right? So 3 lakhs, if somebody has to identify some rules ki which product goes with well as a manual thing, it's not possible, right? So this a machine learning unsupervised algorithm, it's an unsupervised algorithm, and I think when we are done with this algorithm it will be clearer why it's unsupervised. Okay, so the idea of this unsupervised algorithm is to identify rules. An example of these rule could be people who have bought flour and sugar together, they have also bought eggs. This is a rule. Okay, to make a cake. Okay, yeah, if you are curious why they bought things together. So and these rules are basically the output of market basket analysis. Okay, I am trying to skip some of these slides which are kind of repetitive. Okay, so there are certain terms that we need to understand, that when we are identifying the association between certain items. Okay, the question is, we will see how to identify using these terms called support, confidence and expected confidence. You know these terms, right?
Data mining.
Data mining. This is also this is basically an unsupervised algorithm, right? So yes, it makes sense that it's a part of data mining. So using these 3 terms, you will identify rules, but there could be many rules. But to question like which rules are more important than set of so many rules, then you need a metric called lift. Have you heard of this? Okay, so we will use lift to identify which rules are more meaningful or which rules we should go for. Okay, so the term support, you know these terms, right? Okay, so maybe you can help me. What is support? What is support? Anyone remember? Okay, uh, we can have a quick recap. So the support is that uh, it tries to identify from the set of all the transactions. So the all the transactions means transaction T will be in the denominator. From this all the transaction, it's try to identify what is how many times two products A and B have occurred together. Okay, that's support. Confidence. Confidence tells you that when you see a product B in the transaction, what is the confidence that A is also present with B? That's the confidence. Okay. An expected confidence is something different from confidence, in the sense, in the absence of B or A, whatever, how confident that the other item is also present. That's an expected confidence. Okay, I hope it's clear. Support, confidence, and expected confidence. In lift this is how it's being calculated. It's a ratio of confidence to expected confidence. Okay, so I mean theoretically, or let's say bookish definition is it's a ratio of confidence to expected confidence. But let's recall the definition. Ratio means numerator to denominator. Okay, and what is expected confidence? Let's go for the denominator. Presence of item A in the absence of B, and confidence is presence of A when B is also present, right? So if you have to identify a rule, न्यूमरेटर में हाई होना चाहिए या डिनोमिनेटर? यू हैव टू स्पीक लाउडर. पता नहीं मुंह में क्यों बोलते रहते हैं. डिनोमिनेटर हाई होना चाहिए. इज ऑल गुड? क्यों डिनोमिनेटर क्यों हाई होना चाहिए? डिनोमिनेटर हाई होना चाहिए. Why you said the numerator should be higher? No, don't discuss with your next person. Please tell me and we can discuss with the whole class. मेरे को तो सुन ही नहीं रहा. But हाँ, in mathematics, why you think that confidence should be more than expected confidence? You remember the definitions, right? Let's think logically. If the rule says that A and B goes very well together, this is an outcome of an association rule mining. Let's replace A and B with bananas and apples. Okay? Confidence क्या है? When somebody has bought apple, he or she has also bought bananas. What is expected confidence? When in the absence of apple, somebody has bought bananas. If the question is that whether bananas and apples goes together or not, and if the rule is that apples and banana goes together, then what would you prefer? कि वो दोनों हमेशा present हो, that is in the numerator, A and B should always be present, compared to in the absence of apple, people are buying bananas. So the numerator should be higher, and this is what the lift is. It's calculating the ratio, and when the denominator is less and the numerator is high, the lift or the ratio is more than 1, greater than 1, right? जब denominator बड़ा हो जाएगा numerator से, so the value would be less than 1.
Yes, sir.
And when the denominator is higher than numerator, it would be lower than 1. So the lift tells you, let's go for rules which are higher than 1. What it means? Ki two items are present when one of them is present, other is also present. Rather than in the absence of an item, you randomly see another item. Is it clear? Let's see an example. So this was lift. So let's see how we can calculate. So these are different transactions. After this, I will tell you an interesting story about market basket analysis. So this is these are 6 transactions, okay, and let's see our minimum support. So you might say ki confidence and expected confidence, so we discuss, but where is support? Support is that ये जो items हैं what we can say is कि support जो है वो 50% होना चाहिए या 70% होना चाहिए. What it means that a certain 2 items are present so many times among all the transactions. That is what support is. Okay. So support is co-occurrence of A and B compared to other transactions. You can check yourself, but these 2 items, beer and diapers, have come 50% of the time. 50% means 6 में से 3 बारी present होना चाहिए. That's 50%. So let's see. Beer and diaper first में आ गया. Beer and diaper. Order doesn't matter. ठीक है? फिर third में नहीं है. Fourth में सिर्फ एक. Fourth में भी दोनों हैं. Fifth में कुछ नहीं है. Sixth में सिर्फ एक present है. तो beer and diaper का support हो गया 50%, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And similarly you can calculate for the beer and chips. Okay, so this is the support. Now let's try to calculate the expected first we can calculate the confidence, and then we will calculate the lift and so on. So let's go for this beer and diaper rule. People who have bought beer, they have also bought diaper and so on. Okay, so we have to see what was the total number of transactions when one of them or this is present. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? That's the denominator. And how many times these are present? 3. Okay, and when the question is expected confidence means in the absence, or can we change the definition of in the absence? Can we change it to say doesn't matter? So how many transactions are there? 6. And how many are present together? 3. So this is the values of confidence and expected confidence. इसको आप formula में रख लो, that is confidence divided by expected confidence. So it comes out to be 1.5. Okay. Similarly, you can calculate it for beer and chips. It turns out to be 1.1. Okay. If the question, so both have lift more than 1, but the question is that if you are in a supermarket maybe space is limited. So if you have to keep 2 items together, what would you keep? You will keep beer and diaper. Okay. So this is clear, right? How we calculated it. I am not going into this. Okay. So I think maybe you have heard of this thing called Walmart, right? It's a US supermarket chain. So they did it in survey on, not a survey, they applied association rule mining most probably, and they find out that beer and diaper goes very well together. Now these are very random stuff, right? Beer and chips may well go together, right? People would like to have some chips when they are drinking beer. But what about this diaper? Okay, so the idea was this, that they started putting these two things at the entrance of the supermarket. In big supermarkets, when you enter, you see the products which go very well together, or they give like 10% discount, 2% discount. I mean, I don't know about Shimla, but generally the supermarkets which are very big, when you enter, you see these kind of products. And then they did a survey, and of course when they started putting things together, the sales went higher. Now they did a survey from their customers that do you really buy these two products together? And the surprising result comes out that on the weekend, the couples with kids, on the weekends, who were both working and so on, the mothers wanted to buy diapers, husbands wanted to buy beers. And generally these two things are placed on the opposite sides of big supermarkets. And these couples were spending time in chasing in different direction to get these products. So when they started placing it next to each other, it doesn't have, so many advantages, because then these customers, I'm sure these customers are not only buying these two products, maybe food and so on, but you are saving their time, right? So the waiting time at the cash counter becomes lower, right? So there are more people who can come in the supermarket. So what I'm saying is, this is like serendipity, surprise, which you cannot expect, right? We cannot expect that these two things can go together. But this is the beauty of these algorithms, that they can bring you serendipity, surprise things, or rules. Okay, so the idea is that there could be three kind of rules which can come out, that is actionable rules on which you can take action, right, like beer and diaper. Trivial rules like beer and chips, it's fine, we know that people would buy that. Inexplicable rules, that is, they don't make sense, it's better to discard these rules. Okay, so the problem with the market basket analysis is, can you imagine what could be the problem with the market basket analysis? The answer is in the slide. Personalized recommendation is not possible. Personalized means, for example, this beer and diaper. What about young people, single people? They don't have kids, right? So why would they buy diaper? So, or let's suppose, so what was the problem with the popularity based approach? What was the problem with the popularity based approach?
You cannot buy a specific thing if you are looking in a particular niche. If you are looking for a non-popular thing in the market.
No. What was the problem with the popularity based approach? Popularity was the first approach, right? You remember, which are very popular. Harry Potter, right? Harry Potter is very popular, so let's try to sell Harry Potter to everyone. What is the problem with the popularity based approach?
Not everyone wants to buy Harry Potter.
हाँ
Unnecessarily सबको दिखा चाहिए.
हाँ हाँ, तो we can use this term, personalize नहीं है. Personalize का मतलब is clear, right? आपको शायद ना पसंद हो, but we are just showing it to everybody. What is the other problem? What is the other problem? Why we discuss market basket analysis? Market basket analysis is based on
Association.
association. इसी में आंसर छुपा है. that two popular items might not be connected or related. This is another problem with पॉपुलैरिटी. सो पॉपुलैरिटी में दो प्रॉब्लम्स थी. अब एसोसिएशन में एक प्रॉब्लम तो सॉल्व हो गई कि एसोसिएशन ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स इज देयर, बट इसमें अभी भी एक प्रॉब्लम है, पर्सनलाइज्ड रिकमेंडेशन नहीं है. मान लो sausages and beer are being sold, will suddenly become very popular. Will you recommend this to vegetarian people? You cannot. So it can have an adverse effect when you do not do the personalized recommendation. Okay, and this is what is being try to solve in the collaborative filtering. Okay, so collaborative filtering, we will see it's two types. One is user based, another is item based. User based, what happens is that I want to recommend something to A, but A ने पता नहीं वैसा कुछ buy किया नहीं है कुछ. What I will do, I'll try to find similar users who are like A. Okay, and then whatever this similar user B, let's call it B. अब B जो buy कर रहा है वो सब चीज़ें मैं A को recommend करना शुरू कर दूँगा. ठीक है? So I found that A is vegetarian, okay, and he has just joined, let's say Zomato. अब मुझे नहीं पता कि what should I recommend, but I figure it out that A is very similar to B. B is also vegetarian, but he is on Zomato for very long time. So what I will say कि whatever B is buying or trying to order, we can start recommending to A. Is it clear? So it's called user. Another is item. So user A has tasted or tried paneer. What are the different dishes of paneer? Paneer masala, paneer butter masala, shahi paneer, kadai paneer. Okay, so let's suppose he has tried two dishes, okay, and we would like to recommend more. So what can we do? We can find similar items, okay. अब कहाँ से? Maybe users ने और users के हम we can identify कैसी पनीर के क्या, एक वो भी तो होता है तंदूरी पनीर, नहीं टिक्का पनीर, ठीक है. You can that also to recommend to A. So this idea is called item collaborative filtering. Okay. And how this approach became popular was that there is a Netflix challenge. Okay, I have to. I'm really sorry, but I'll not be able to discuss this social network part. But it's very easy actually. Okay. So because I need to discuss some projects also. So let's try to finish this part. This is the last technique. In Netflix challenge, have you heard of Netflix, right? So there was a challenge which was there, I don't remember, maybe in 2009. Okay, so the Netflix has lot of CDs at that time, okay, DVDs, which were just lying there in its warehouse, and nobody was ordering, or the Netflix didn't know that how can we recommend these things to people. So they opened a challenge, and they set this money, and somebody that time proposed this approach, and this was the best approach that Netflix saw, and that's the history behind collaborative filtering. Okay, let's see user collaborative filtering. So let's see the example of movies. Okay, so let's suppose there are this Harry Potter 1, 2, 3. Okay, first three are Harry Potter 1, 2, 3. Then Twilight. I think maybe you know this Twilight. The actor was very famous, right? Yeah.
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson. So then you have Star Wars. Yeah. Star Wars 1, 2 and 3. So let's then these are the movies on the columns. A, user A liked the movie Harry Potter 1 and have given a rating of 4. User A has not seen Harry Potter 2 and 3, but he has watched Twilight and given the rating of 5, and then 1 to Star Wars 1. What it means? He or she liked Harry Potter and Twilight but not Star Wars. Okay? Let's go for B. B has seen Harry Potter's almost whatever it's there on the slide, and he liked it, 554. Then C didn't like Twilight, but he liked Star Wars 1 and 2, and so on. Okay, so what we need to find is what is our main objective in user collaborative filtering. What is the main objective in user collaborative filtering? Yes, personalized, and we will see. But to identify similar users, that is the, how can we identify similarity? You said it correctly. Please say it loud. हैं? नहीं, मैंने तुम्हारे लिप गलत रीड कर लिए. I thought you are saying distance. Distance is a way to calculate similarity, and we have seen different kinds of distances like Euclideans in clustering, right? Right. There are other distances also, and today we will see another difference. Okay, another metric to calculate similarity or distance. Basically, we have to calculate distance to find similarity. So, let's consider the ratings as a vector for each user A. ठीक है? A का एक vector है, B का एक vector. I hope you know vector, right? वही same concept है जो आप programming में पढ़ते हो, arrays and so on, right? Vectors, and C का vector है, and we need to find a similarity metric between two users A and B, and A has a vector, B has a vector. ठीक है? Any metric which comes to your mind which can be used? Vectors को. Anybody can think of a metric which can be used to identify similarity between two vectors? Okay, we will see. And what we need to capture is that which two users are more similar than, किसी को है पता आया कुछ याद? Okay, कोई बात नहीं. There is no करोड़पति game going on. Okay, so first let's see the Jacquard similarity. Have you heard of what is Jacquard similarity? Okay, in Jacquard similarity, what happens is that in the numerator we do an intersection of two vectors, and the denominator we had a union of two vectors. ठीक है? अब इन ratings को आप ऐसा मान के चलो कि 4 को आप 1 बना दो. 4 is saying yes, एक rating दी है, और जहाँ जहाँ rating नहीं दी है वहाँ 0 लगा दो. Okay? And then do the intersection. तो A और B का similarity कितना हो जाएगा? दोनों ने हैरी पॉटर को रेटिंग दी है. डोंट लुक एट द नंबर्स. ओके, बेसिकली से रेटिंग दी है, कुछ भी दी हो बट देखी है. ठीक है? सो देयर इज वन कॉमन थिंग. ओके, और किसी वेक्टर स्पेस में देखो कहीं कुछ कॉमन है? यस और नो? स्पीक आउट. ए और बी में और कोई कॉमन नहीं है. अब ये तो हो गया इंटरसेक्शन. यूनियन. यूनियन में क्या वैल्यू होनी चाहिए? 1 2 3 4 5. ठीक है? अब सिमिलैरिटी ऑफ ए कॉमा बी अकॉर्डिंग टू जकार्ड सिमिलैरिटी इज इंटरसेक्शन बाय यूनियन. तो इसलिए न्यूमरेटर में यूनियन इंटरसेक्शन हो गया 1, डिनोमिनेटर में हो गया 5. ऐसे ही आपने ए और सी का कर लिया, ठीक है। तो विच वन वैल्यू इज हायर, सिमिलैरिटी ऑफ ए कॉमा सी इज हायर, ठीक है, सिंपल मैथ्स, देन ए कॉमा बी। लेकिन लेट्स गो बैक टू दिस, क्या वाकई ए एंड सी आर मोर सिमिलर देन ए एंड बी? Just look at these ratings and tell me, what do you think? No right and wrong answers. If you look at A comma B and A comma C, किसकी सिमिलैरिटी ज़्यादा है?
A comma B, A B,
A comma C,
ए और बी,
A और B। कोई A और C बोलना चाहता है? तुम बोलना चाहते हो? Why? बैठे बैठे भी बोल दो, बस आवाज़ ऊंची रखना। हैं? Sorry.
because there are two similarities. They have voted two same movies they have seen, so that's why it's.
They have seen the movies, but they didn't like it. You might have seen many movies, but your taste might be with somebody else who might have seen less movies, but उसको भी romantic movies पसंद हो सकती है। I don't know what you like, but just giving an example. A और B में क्या हो सकता है? But I'm asking why you think A and C are more similar than A and B? That's what you said, ना? हाँ, क्यों? मुझे लग रहा है। अच्छा, ठीक है। मुझे clearly नहीं सुना what you are saying, but let's look at these ratings. A ने ट्वाइलाइट देखी है, C ने भी देखी है, लेकिन रेटिंग देखो, ऑपोजिट है, ठीक है। इसकी रेटिंग कम है लेकिन इसकी रेटिंग ज़्यादा है, मतलब यहाँ पे इनका टेस्ट रिवर्स हो गया, यहाँ पे भी रिवर्स है। मूवीज़ देखिए, कई बार फ्री टिकट्स भी मिल जाती हैं, इट डजंट मैटर मूवीज़ देखना, लेकिन व्हाट इज योर टेस्ट, वेदर यू लाइक इट और नॉट, दैट्स अनदर थिंग, राइट। सो इन दोज टर्म्स वी आर चेकिंग द सिमिलैरिटी, ठीक है। सो द जकार्ड सिमिलैरिटी सेज कि ए एंड सी आर मोर सिमिलर देन ए एंड बी, विच इज रॉन्ग, विच इज नॉट एक्चुअली द केस। ए एंड बी ने टेस्ट ज़्यादा सिमिलर है, ठीक है। हैरी पॉटर दोनों ने रेटिंग ज़्यादा दी है। सो दिस इज द इंट्यूशन, but this intuition is not captured well by Jacquard, ठीक है। तो चलो कुछ और देखते हैं। The other metric is cosine similarity, सुना तो होगा, है ना? नहीं, नाम तो सुना होगा, ऐसा किसी ने कुछ डायलॉग बोला था, नहीं? ओके, सो एनीवेज, cosine similarity, हाँ?
Now formula is okay. Formula is similar to that.
Okay, so I will put the formula first. So the formula of cosine similarity is the dot product of two vectors, ठीक है। और उसके बाद you do a square of, अब ये स्क्वायर एंड स्क्वायर रूट वाला तो यू कुड रिमेंबर, राइट, RMSE वगैरह वगैरह। डिनोमिनेटर में वी आर सिमिलर एंड देन डूइंग द प्रोडक्ट ऑफ दैट मल्टीप्लिकेशन, ठीक है, जो भी वैल्यू। सो दिस इज नॉट डॉट प्रोडक्ट, ठीक है। न्यूमरेटर में डॉट प्रोडक्ट है। डॉट प्रोडक्ट मीन्स वेक्टर जीरो और दूसरे वेक्टर का भी जीरो आप मल्टीप्लाई कर रहे हैं, दैट्स अ डॉट प्रोडक्ट, ओके। तो यहाँ पे A एंड B with the, अच्छा, so this formula is clear?
Yes, sir.
If it's not clear, we will see the example. तो अब जहाँ पे wherever these ratings are not present, we will replace them with 0, ठीक है। In A and B wherever, और A and C जहाँ जहाँ भी rating नहीं है, first we will replace it with 0. And now let's calculate the dot product. So A का 4 and B का 5 first location का multiplication कर दो, 4 multiply by 5, this is what you see in the numerator. फिर 0 multiply by 5, क्योंकि second place of A is 0, second place of b is 5 and so on. Is it clear? न्यूमरेटर में हाँ हाँ बोलते रहा करो, ठीक है. नीचे नहीं, एक साथ बोलो ना, have some synchronization. So in the denominator what you have is, first you do a square of this, each value of this vector, that is 4 का square plus 0 का square plus 0 का square, 5 का square plus 1 का square, ठीक है. ये हो गया फर्स्ट. फिर आपने इसका स्क्वायर रूट कर दिया, ठीक है. सिमिलरली b के जो वेक्टर्स है ईच वैल्यू का आपने स्क्वायर किया, फिर उसका स्क्वायर रूट कर दिया, इनका मल्टीप्लाई कर दिया, ये हो गया डिनोमिनेटर, एंड यू गेट अ वैल्यू दैट इज 0.38. क्लियर? So cosine, we just did the cosine similarity. Similarly, we can calculate the cosine similarity of A and C, that is 0.32. Now, this has captured well that A and B are more similar than A and C. Why are we calculating this similarity? Why are we calculating this similarity? हाँ, to find similar users, right? So please ये याद रखो, why are we doing these things? The whole business is to find similar users, so we can recommend their products or items to the other users. ठीक है? So here we are focusing on only similarity through distance. ठीक है? Distance is calculated using cosine. ठीक है? I mean this is fine. This is much better than Jacquard, but actually देखा जाए A and B are much more similar than A and C, और ये difference तो बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं है. Can we do something better? ठीक है? So there is a another metric called centered cosine. ठीक है? That we will see next to calculate the similarity. Okay. Now this is again the same table, and what we will do first, normalize ratings by subtracting the row mean. Abhi first for each row we are going to calculate centered cosine. पहले क्या किया? Cosine. अब हम centered cosine करेंगे. अब इसके steps देखते हैं how to calculate it. For each row you do an average, that is 4 plus 5 plus 1, 10. How many values are there? 3. ठीक है? So 10 divided by 3. ऐसे हमने इसका average calculate किया. Next का भी 5, 5, 4, तो 14 हो गया divided by 3. Last रो देखो 3 plus 3, 6 divided by 2, क्योंकि दो ही values है. ऐसे हमने सबसे पहले average किया. Then we do original values minus the average rating. ठीक है? So what it means? 4 minus 10 by 3. ठीक है? वैल्यू हो गई 2 by 3. नीचे देखो. ठीक है? ऐसे ही 1 minus 10 by 3, the value is minus 7 by 3. So you can get positive and negative values now. But पिछले कोसाइन में ऐसा कुछ नेगेटिव नहीं था. जो एम्प्टीज हैं वो हमने 0 से कर दिया रिप्लेस, जिसमें था. I hope this step is clear. Average then minus. Okay. Each row कर दिया. So now what happens is that ratings are centered around 0. कुछ centered cosine में क्या होगा? जो 0 है वो सेंटर हो गया, और कुछ पॉजिटिव है कुछ नेगेटिव है. कोसाइन में ऐसा कुछ नहीं था, राइट? बिकॉज इट वाज 0 टू पॉजिटिव इन्फिनिटी थियोरेटिकली. इन्फिनिटी तो नहीं, मतलब कम ही थी, बट 0 और पॉजिटिव वैल्यूज. ओके. नाउ you again you can use the same original cosine formula for this. ठीक है? And so here you see, so इसमें हमने क्या किया है? सिर्फ वैल्यूज को ही चेंज किया है विद रिस्पेक्ट टू एवरेज करके. बाद में फॉर्मूला वही यूज हो गया. ठीक है? एंड नाउ यू सी द सिमिलैरिटी ऑफ A comma B is 0.09 and A comma C is minus 0.56. This captures well कि कौन सा यूज़र किसके साथ ज़्यादा सिमिलर है, ठीक है. सो एंड इट हैज़ इट्स एडवांटेज लाइक यू नो कि जो रेटिंग्स पहले ज़ीरो थी और जो वैल्यूज़ नाउ दे आर अराउंड सेंटर्ड अराउंड ज़ीरो. It also captures well the tough raters and the easy raters, because what it happens, some raters are very tough, right? उनको अच्छा भी लगेगा मूवी, then also they do not give 5, still they give 3.754. ऐसे कई टीचर्स भी होते हैं. Okay, so what we just calculated is known as Pearson correlation. Okay. So what have we done till this point? Users and their ratings or distance. ठीक है, इससे हमने पता कर लिया कि कौन सा users किसके similar है. Now what is our original goal? What was the original goal here? To propose or to recommend similar items. How can we do that? To identify similar users. अब users तो पता चल गए, अब उनके आइटम्स देखते हैं. अब उन आइटम्स को हम किसी फार्मूला के इस फार्मूला से करके जो रेटिंग्स आएंगी, हम अगर उनकी रेटिंग्स की वैल्यू हाई होगी तो वो आइटम्स उनको रिकमेंड करना शुरू कर देंगे. सो द आईडी लाइक देयर आर टू वेज दैट यू कैन कैलकुलेटिंग द रेटिंग्स. ठीक है. सो इन दिस फार्मूला वी आर डूइंग एन एवरेज ऑफ रेटिंग ऑफ अ particular user. ठीक है. And what we have to do is, the question here is whether we can recommend an item I to a user A. This is the question. Okay. So n be the set of k users. Here n be the set of k users who are most similar to x. So x is the user for whom we have to recommend the items. ठीक है. So what we do, first for each अब आप ये भी तो बोल सकते हैं कि in the previous slide we said that the user A and B are more similar than A and C. But let's suppose you say I want to consider two users, two most similar users. Okay, instead of just considering one user, you can do that. Now what is the total number of users? 2. So if we never calculated for D, but let's suppose A and D का जो similarity है, that is the least, and what you say, I will consider 2 users, or I want to recommend an item I which user X has never tried. So let's see the users B and C, how much rating they have given for the item I, and I will average the rating. Okay? This is what we are doing. So for item I, और हर यूजर जो n में है, कितने हैं यहाँ पे? 2 users. For example, B and C. D we will not consider क्योंकि उसकी similarity बहुत बहुत कम है. ठीक है. For each user y in n set, और n हमारे पास 2 है, और उनकी जो रेटिंग y की I के है उसको ऐड करते जाएंगे, बाद में टोटल यूजर जो हमने कंसिडर किए उनके बाद उसको एवरेज कर देंगे. ठीक है. Another way is that we will not consider the rating, but we will also consider the similarity score. So let's suppose so हमारे there is a user A, we have to recommend an item I, and let's suppose, and there are other users B, C, D. This is the most similar user. This is, ये 2 टिक का मतलब कुछ कुछ सिमिलर है, और D का मतलब one. I hope you can make it out, right? Now we will take the two most similar users, that is B and C. तो इसका मतलब n की वैल्यू हो गई 2. पहले हम B पे जाएंगे, इसकी रेटिंग देखेंगे कि इसकी रेटिंग आइटम I के लिए क्या है, इसकी C ने आइटम I को क्या रेटिंग दी है, और इनको सम करके एवरेज कर लेंगे. जो एवरेज रेटिंग आई है वो रेटिंग हम इसको दे देंगे, और इस रेटिंग की वैल्यू अगर वेरी हाई है तो हम यूज़र A को रिकमेंड कर देंगे. लेकिन इसमें एक प्रॉब्लम है, वी हैव फॉरगॉटन द सिमिलैरिटी स्कोर. तो व्हाई डोंट वी डू लाइक दिस, कि इसमें जो सिमिलैरिटी ऑफ A, B है उसको भी ऐड कर दिया जाए. दिस इज व्हाट इज हैपनिंग हियर, S, X, Y. ठीक है, जो रेटिंग B ने आइटम I को दी है उसको हम मल्टीप्लाई कर देंगे सिमिलैरिटी स्कोर ऑफ A एंड B. ऐसे ही रेटिंग C ने जो आइटम I को रेटिंग दी है उसको हम मल्टीप्लाई कर देंगे सिमिलैरिटी ऑफ A एंड C. ठीक है, और बाद में हम इनका एवरेज कर देंगे. तो जो रेटिंग वैल्यू आ गई वो हम बोलेंगे अच्छा ये आइटम I के लिए रेटिंग आई है, क्या ये रेटिंग किसी थ्रेशहोल्ड से बड़ी है? If it is, then we can recommend it to user A. Is it clear? Okay. So this is the idea behind calculating the ratings. Why? Because so let's go step by step. Okay. Let's go step by step. First problem is that what items we need to recommend. जो A ने पहले यूज नहीं की है, A ने अभी तक कोई मूवी नहीं देखी है, कैसे करें? तो A, ओके, आई शुड नॉट से अभी तक कोई मूवी नहीं देखी है, उसने अभी तक बाहुबली नहीं देखी है मान लो, ओके, बट इन द पास्ट दिस इज नॉट द करेक्ट वे. लेट्स सपोज उसने वॉर, ऋतिक रोशन, एंड कोई और एक्शन मूवी, इंग्लिश बता दो अगर तुम हिंदी नहीं देखते तो.
जॉन विक.
जॉन विक, ठीक है, उसने जॉन विक देखी है, वॉर देखी है, और मार्वल्स की मूवी लगा लेते हैं, एवेंजर्स, ओके, फास्ट एंड फ्यूरियस लगा लेते हैं. ठीक है, यू गाइज आर ऑल लाइक हॉलीवुड फैंस, ओके. तो अब we have to recommend more movies to A. What is the process? First we will find similar users to A. ठीक है, अब ऐसा तो है नहीं कि B और C are clones of A, तो हमें इनकी सिमिलैरिटी स्कोर निकालना पड़ेगा. लेट्स सपोज देयर आर 4 यूजर्स, अदर 4 यूजर B, C, D, E. ठीक है, अब इसमें हमारे पास और 4 यूजर्स हैं. What we will do? We will calculate the similarity score of A to B, A to C, A to D, and A to E. Okay. Now we say इनकी similarity score आ गया, but I will only use 2 more similar users, and we saw that C and D are the most similar users. ठीक है, अब ये देखते हैं C और D ने क्या क्या मूवीज देखी हैं, that is items. ठीक है, अब हमें पता चला कि इन दोनों ने बाहुबली देखी है. अब हम देखते हैं कि इसने क्या रेटिंग दी है, इसने क्या रेटिंग दी है. एवरेज में हम इनकी रेटिंग और इसकी रेटिंग को एवरेज कर देते हैं, और अगर ये रेटिंग मान लो आ गई 4.5, तो लेट्स रिकमेंड इट टू A. अच्छा, ये था ऑप्शन नंबर 1. ऑप्शन नंबर 2 में हम एवरेज नहीं करेंगे, आइटम जो भी रेटिंग है C की उसको मल्टीप्लाई कर देंगे सिमिलैरिटी स्कोर विद A. ऐसे ही similarity score of B and C is multiplied with the rating which is given by D for movie बाहुबली, and then we do an average. इसको बोलते हैं, क्या बोलते हैं, weighted average. ठीक है. अब ये रेटिंग अगर 4.5 या मान लो 4 से above है and you set कि 4 से होगी above, then only I will recommend. If it is, then you recommend it to A. So this is the whole idea of recommendation system. What problems have you solved in this which we couldn't solve in the previous two approaches? What are the two problems this collaborative filtering is able to solve which the other two solutions were not able to solve? I don't know why you are so shy, you know everything. Is it a acha? Okay. Okay, I'll rephrase my question. Three approaches, right? Popularity, association, rule mining or market basket analysis. ये third हो गई collaborative filtering. तो collaborative filtering में कौन सी दो problems को solve कर दिया जो association या market basket analysis और popularity ने नहीं किया? सुनो उसकी बात. Personalization, which association rule mining couldn't solve. What is the other? Association of products. ये association of products भी अच्छा कर रही है. Which movies go very well together? और personalization भी है. Right? But why are we talking about it? अब association rule mining is scalable. Scalable in the sense जितनी मर्जी transactions हो, it is able to solve. But collaborative filtering is not very scalable. Of course, these days it could be depending upon the resources, but it's limited. ठीक है? अब हम item पे आ जाते हैं. It's very similar to user, but let's try to go through it quickly. ठीक है? So collaborative filtering में there are two ways. Collaborative filtering में there are two ways: item and user. ठीक है? We already saw user. Now we will see the item. And the idea is to find similar items. Okay? So what you do, you find items which are similar to another item based on the ratings. Acha. I'm kind of going very fast. And let's try to see this with an example. Okay? Users are on columns and movies are on rows. ठीक है? वहाँ पे उल्टा था. ठीक है? Please pay attention. यहाँ पे users column में आ गए और movies आ गई rows में. ठीक है? Okay. Now what we need to do is that we need to identify a rating, the rating for movie 1. ठीक है? For the user 5. Now ratings are between 1 to 5 and empty boxes we don't know, the unknown rating. ठीक है? Or neighborhood n is equal to 2. In the previous example I was also talking about n is equal to 2. That's a neighborhood, means more similar user. कितने, ऐसे तो हमने 10 users की similarity निकाल ली, but कितने consider करने हैं while calculating the average rating or weighted average? Only 2. That's n is equal to 2. Similar here, neighborhood n is equal to 2, but here it means select 2 movies सिमिलर टू मूवी 1, ठीक है। अब हमें टू मोस्ट सिमिलर मूवीज को आइडेंटिफाई करना है विच आर सिमिलर टू, ठीक है, मूवी 1 एंड रेटेड बाय यूजर 5, ठीक है। व्हाट वी डू, सेम आइडिया, ठीक है। फर्स्ट वी विल डू एन एवरेज ऑफ दीज वैल्यूज, सो 1 प्लस 3 प्लस 5 डिवाइडेड बाय 5, एवरेज निकाला, वेरी सिमिलर टू दैट, ठीक है। फिर हमने उसको उससे माइनस कर लिया, सेंटर्ड कोसाइन ही कर रहे हैं हम, ठीक है। हम कंप्यूट उसके बाद फिर हम कोसाइन सिमिलैरिटी कर लेंगे, ठीक है। सो व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, वी विल कैलकुलेट द सिमिलैरिटी बेस्ड ऑन द आइटम, सॉरी आइटम मतलब मूवीज 1, इज इट क्लियर टिल नाउ? पीछे से आवाज नहीं आ रही?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if it's not clear, I can take a minute and go back again. Clear? तुम्हारी गाड़ी कहाँ पे छूटी? पीछे वाले पे? इससे या और पीछे? यहीं पर? तो the question is that we have to neighborhood n is equal to 2, ठीक है। हम इतनी, that is we have to select 2 movies, ये movies है ना, in rows there are movies and we have to give a rating for movie 1 for the user 5, ठीक है। ताकि अगर इसकी रेटिंग बड़ी हो, the rating will be above threshold, then we can recommend this movie to user 5, that's an objective, ठीक है। ये तो पता चल गया। अब हमें सिमिलैरिटी कैलकुलेट करनी है आइटम्स की, क्योंकि हम यूजर्स की सिमिलैरिटी नहीं कर रहे, हम आइटम्स की सिमिलैरिटी कर रहे हैं, आइटम नॉट यूजर। इसलिए टू मेक इट लाइक लुक इजियर, दैट्स व्हाई वी मूव द मूवीज इन द रोज, पहले यूजर्स थे रोज पे, ठीक है, जस्ट विजुअली थोड़ा इजी हो जाता है। तो अब हम कैसे करेंगे, सेंटर्ड कोसाइन से। सेंटर्ड कोसाइन में हमने क्या किया था फर्स्ट स्टेप सेंटर्ड कोसाइन में, सबसे नॉर्मलाइजेशन किया था, बट सबसे पहले हमने ईच रो की वैल्यूज को एवरेज कर लिया था, ठीक है। ये नीचे लिखा हुआ है, ये तो तुम्हें याद होगा ना, इसको एवरेज कर लिया था ईच रो को, सम देम अप डिवाइडेड बाय द टोटल नंबर ऑफ रेटिंग्स, ठीक है। 1 प्लस 3, अब फिर इसको ही फिर ईच वैल्यू से हमने माइनस कर दिया, तो ये नीचे हमने लिखा हुआ है, ठीक है। यू कैन डू बाय योरसेल्फ। ऐसे ही हम हर रो का इसका एवरेज करेंगे, फिर ईच वैल्यू को माइनस एवरेज से कर देंगे।
Yes, sir.
सिमिलरली वी कैन डू दिस, ठीक है। जब हमने न्यू वैल्यूज निकाल ली, वी विल कैलकुलेट द कोसाइन सिमिलैरिटी ऑफ ईच मूवी विद द मूवी 1, इसका भी 1 से, इसका भी 1 से, इसका भी 1 से, जैसे कि हम पिछले में हर, क्योंकि हमारा यूजर था ना ए, जैसे हम बी सी डी का कोसाइन कर रहे थे ए के साथ। अब हमारा प्रॉब्लम क्या है, प्रॉब्लम फोकस क्या है, मूवी 1, तो इसलिए हम हर मूवी का वेक्टर का सेंटर्ड कोसाइन किससे कर रहे हैं, 1 से। और जब हमने ऐसे किया, ये वैल्यूज आ गई ग्रीन वाली, ठीक है। वाई दिस इज 1, इन द फर्स्ट रो द वैल्यू इज 1, फर्स्ट द वैल्यू इज 1, वाई फर्स्ट रो में वैल्यू 1 क्यों है, कॉस में जब डिस्टेंस 0 या दो चीज़ें बहुत सिमिलर हों तो वैल्यू 1 होती है। जब एक मूवी का वेक्टर उसी के साथ सिमिलैरिटी कैलकुलेट करोगे तो उसकी हाईएस्ट आएगी, दैट्स व्हाई यू सी 1। ऐसे ही बाकियों की वैल्यू आ गई, कुछ नेगेटिव में है कुछ पॉजिटिव में है, ठीक है। अब हमारी n कितना था, 2, तो इसमें हम 2 मोस्ट सिमिलर यूजर्स आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे। कौन कौन से हैं, एक तो ये हो गया 0.41 और एक 0.59, ठीक है, ये सबसे ज़्यादा सिमिलर है, ठीक है। इट मीन्स मूवी 3 एंड मूवी 6, n क्या है 2, दैट्स व्हाई वी विल फोकस ऑन 2, ठीक है। और फिर हमने वही फॉर्मूला you can do an average rating or you can do an weighted average. इस फॉर्मूले में डाल दिया और आपने यहाँ पे आई हैव शोन दिस वेटेड एवरेज और जो भी इनकी सिमिलैरिटी थी फॉर्मूले में डाल के आपने कैलकुलेट कर ली और वैल्यू आ गई 2.6. ठीक है, सो 2.6 इज द रेटिंग फॉर द मूवी 1 पॉसिबली बाय द यूजर. अगर पॉसिबली मीन्स यूजर ने अभी तक देखी नहीं है, लेकिन पॉसिबली ये रेटिंग होगी जब वो देखेगा. तो क्या ये रेटिंग किसी थ्रेशहोल्ड से ज़्यादा है? लेट्स सपोज द थ्रेशहोल्ड इज 3, तो ये 2.6 तो वैल्यू कम और 2.6 ही है ना, इज लेस देन 3, सो वी शुड नॉट रिकमेंड दिस मूवी टू यूजर 5. इज इट क्लियर? ठीक है, तो ये हमने ऐसे कर लिया. इवेल्युएशन, हाउ कैन वी डू इवेल्युएशन? ठीक है, टॉप के प्रिसीजन, प्रिसीजन याद है. ठीक है, अब आपने हर आइटम्स आपने ऐसे ही एक लिस्ट बना ली. ये तो हमने मूवी 1 का था. यू कुड ऑल्सो कैलकुलेट फॉर लेट्स से मूवी 3, एक मिनट, मूवी 1 फॉर यूजर 8. ठीक है, आई एम चेकिंग मूवी 2. आप मूवी 2 भी तो रिकमेंड कर सकते हो यूजर 5 को. ठीक है, क्योंकि एम्प्टी है. ठीक है, तो सेम वे यू कैन कैलकुलेट दिस फॉर मूवी 2. उसका रेटिंग देखते हैं. अगर उसका रेटिंग 3 से ज़्यादा आ गया तो और आपने एक ही मूवी रिकमेंड करनी है तो आप मूवी 2 कर दो रादर देन मूवी 1. ठीक है, सो बट लेट्स कंसिडर अ केस वेयर यू हैव n नंबर ऑफ मूवीज विच कम अबव 3. n मतलब 10 मूवीज आ गई जिनका थ्रेशहोल्ड 3 से ज़्यादा था. नाउ दैट्स योर एल्गोरिदम विच हैज़ कैलकुलेटेड दीज रेटिंग्स. लेकिन हमारे पास कुछ ग्राउंड ट्रूथ भी होना चाहिए सो दैट वी कैन चेक कि क्या ये रेटिंग ठीक भी है कि नहीं. कैसे करते हैं? वही जो क्लासिफिकेशन वाला कंसेप्ट है. कुछ डेटा की वैल्यूज़ हम रिमूव कर देते हैं अपने डेटा सेट से. इज़ इट क्लियर? कुछ को हमने टेस्ट सेट रखा, मतलब अगर इसकी रेटिंग थी वी विल नॉट शो इट एंड वी लेट एल्गोरिदम डिसाइड कि कितनी रेटिंग देंगे. फिर हम देखेंगे कि इसकी रेटिंग जो एल्गोरिदम ने प्रिडिक्ट किया है एंड द ओरिजिनल रेटिंग वेदर दे आर नियर और क्लोज. ठीक है, अब इस प्रॉब्लम को यू कैन इवेल्युएट यूजिंग 2 ways. वन इज कि व्हेन यू फोकस ऑन रेटिंग्स यू कैन कैलकुलेट यूजिंग रिग्रेशन मैट्रिक्स. बट आपका इफ द ऑब्जेक्टिव इज शुड वी रिकमेंड और नॉट, देन इट्स अ क्लासिफिकेशन प्रॉब्लम. क्लासिफिकेशन में रिकॉल प्रिसीजन. व्हाई वी आर फोकसिंग ऑन प्रिसीजन नॉट रिकॉल? फॉर्मूले में आंसर में छिपा है ट्रू पॉजिटिव डिवाइडेड बाय ट्रू पॉजिटिव प्लस फॉल्स पॉजिटिव, क्योंकि प्रिसीजन है तो फॉल्स पॉजिटिव. अब नाउ चेक व्हाई फॉल्स पॉजिटिव should be lower rather than recall. क्योंकि पॉजिटिव क्लास क्या है यहाँ पे? रिकमेंड करना. व्हाट इज बेटर? रॉन्ग मूवीज रिकमेंड करना, आपको लगेगा कि ये मूवीज़ देख सकता है और आप उसको रिकमेंड कर दो और वो इरिटेट हो जाए, कि ना कम ही करो? व्हाट वुड यू प्रेफर? कम ही करो. सो दैट्स व्हाई फॉल्स पॉजिटिव शुड बी लोअर. सो दैट्स व्हाई प्रिसीजन इज मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट देन रिकॉल. तो आवर मेट्रिक इज प्रिसीजन. अब प्रिसीजन में बहुत सारी मूवीज़ अगर मान लो 10 आ गई एंड उसमें कुछ गलत भी हो सकती है, लेकिन you also know when I'm recommending something I will just recommend 2 movies 3 movies. एक दिन में लोग कितनी मूवीज देख लेते हैं? ठीक है, तो there is another way, the top K precision. Let's not focus on the top 10 but let's just focus on the top 3 movies which are similar, और इसमें से ही चेक करते हैं कि रेटिंग मतलब we should recommend or not. So that's why top K precision, this is the metric. ठीक है, I think I already described this whole set and so on. If you are regression, you can check this and so on. So I think that's all about recommendation system. And to summarize, three approaches: popularity,
Market basket analysis.
and collaborative में
user based or item based.
and which problem what problem popularity has, and एसोसिएशन रूल माइनिंग या उसको मार्केट बास्केट कह लो, what problem it solves,
Association.
does it solves personalized, and collaborative filtering solves, तुम्हारे जितने समझदार नहीं देखे. Okay, so just last thing, Manu sir has asked me to talk about projects. So this was last technical part. Projects. You are, I assume you are in first year.
First year, most of us.
Most of us are in first year. ठीक है? So if you have to do projects, what possible ways you can try to identify what projects you will do. Okay, so first of all, I already suggested and requested that you should try to subscribe to these two technical blogs. ठीक है? Towards data science and medium, and some of you have already done that, so thank you. Kaggle is another very wonderful website where you can find data sets. वहाँ पे आपको data sets तो मिलते ही हैं, कोई एक particular problem का code भी सब कुछ मिल जाता है. ठीक है? So it's a old chat GPT. ठीक है? I mean, my idea is not that you have to write the whole code from the scratch. Okay, those days are gone. You could use some from somewhere, Stack Overflow, some snippet from Kaggle, and it's totally okay to do it. But don't copy paste. Okay, that's not the best way to learn. So, for example, Kaggle में एक data you try to find a data set and problem. तो किसी ने पूरा कुछ करके भी दे दिया, आइरिस डेटा सेट पे मैं ये आइडेंटिफाई करूँगा और मैंने ये SVM लगाया, रैंडम फॉरेस्ट लगाया, मेरा ये आ गया. ठीक है, रिजल्ट्स. यू टेक दिस डेटा सेट, यू सॉल्व इट बाय योरसेल्फ, यू चेंज द पैरामीटर्स, चेंज द थ्रेशोल्ड. हर एल्गोरिदम में बहुत पैरामीटर्स होते हैं, प्ले विद इट. ओके, and then if you think that this code is well written, commented, you can submit it on Kaggle. This will boost your CV. If you are looking for a job in a company in programming, you can always write Kaggle पे मेरा एक account है. One more thing, have you heard of GitHub?
Yes, sir.
Make a GitHub account. I would strongly suggest you. अगर आपने अपने CV में ऊपर my name is blah blah, phone number, email ID, my GitHub account, या लेफ्ट साइड में आपने अपना रखा हुआ है, my name, my account on GitHub is this, my account on towards data science is this. Make sure that you write 2 articles or blogs on towards data science. किसी पे भी लिखो, whatever your understanding is, it will boost your CV. ठीक है? Because companies are always looking for some kind of proof. ठीक है? आपने Kaggle पे डाला है, उसको GitHub पे भी डाल दो. ठीक है? Companies would love it if they see you have a GitHub account. Okay? So please use of these resources. This is like should be your starting point. Now, I don't know much like what kind of projects you would like, but this is how I could categorize. One is applied based projects, other is research based projects. Both are good in their own sense. ठीक है? Utility applied में क्या होता है? You are using existing techniques or knowledge in some domain. ये चीज़ आप रिसर्च में भी कर सकते हो, ठीक है? जैसे कि आपने बोला कि मैंने एक एंड्रॉयड ऐप बनाई है, इस ऐप में कामधेनु क्या बोलेंगे, शॉप, इट्स ईटरी, कैंटीन में आप ऑर्डर 1 घंटा पहले बुक कर सकते हो. जस्ट एन आइडिया. वहाँ फिर 1 बजे छुट्टी होती है, इतनी भीड़ लग जाती है. सो आई विल बुक इट एट 11 and I will say I need 2 chapatis, this roti, so many चावल, this सब्जी, and मैंने पेटीएम से कर दिया. वो जब आप जाओगे वो आपकी थाली पहले से तैयार होके बैठी रहेगी, आपका नाम होगा, टोकन होगा. This saves time. This is a project. This is an applied base. आपने कोई 30 मार खान वाला काम नहीं किया है. You used Android app, but a utility. It's very very useful. ठीक है? Similarly, drones. Trust me, India is spending a lot on drone technology. ठीक है? हैं? Zeno what? यहाँ पर है? It's in HPU. हाँ, तो ऐसी तो बहुत होंगी drones की. I think there is a high initiative from the government to even have research to set up labs in drones. Okay, I was talking with the director of IIT Ropar, and he said that and this is from him that he got this knowledge, that India is going to spend. This is a 1 year back, maybe almost 1 year back. Okay. ऊंचा बोलो भाई. हाँ. recommendation if you have a friend, if you know somebody, वरना डेटा सेट्स कई बार नहीं मिलते हैं. सो ऑलवेज आस्क योर प्रॉफ, चाचा मामा ताया कोई होगा वहाँ पे, कॉल देम, मे बी दे विल हेल्प यू इन गेटिंग द डेटा फॉर एग्जाम्पल. Or go to the hospital, talk with the doctor there that we are coming from HPU. We will, you might have to sign an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, because the data could be very sensitive of patients, right? So you have to do some efforts. This is just one idea in the medical domain. Another domain could be, for example, I can talk about, I started talking about yesterday. So we are working on misinformation. Okay, and we mainly focus on let's say data from social media. So I have one student who is Ukrainian. I hope you know there is a Ukrainian-Russian war going on, very bad situation. Uh, so he has collected the data from Telegram channels. You know what's a channel is, right? In Telegram you can have a channel, a group, or a local group. Okay? So he has collected the data from Telegram about certain channels. You can download the data. You will not get any information about users, but you will get the messages which are being there. Okay, and he's trying to identify propaganda. What is a propaganda? Misinformation, a kind of misinformation, not necessarily true. Can we identify propaganda in an automatic way? Okay, that's what he's trying to do with the help of NLP techniques, natural language processing techniques. Okay, not only sentiments, emotions, but also using transformers. Maybe you have heard of it, right? Transformers. These are all large language models. Okay, so using these to see how we can automate a certain thing, that is to identify a propaganda. Okay, you can use, let's say, if there is a Himachal news website, okay, you can collect the data online. Just write a scraper. You collect this news in a certain language, English for example, and you try to see what is the trend of violence in the news. It's a very simple idea. So you collect last 6 months of data and you say that how many happy news have come out, how many have violent related news have come out, how many religious anonymity related news have come out, anonymity. Okay, so I mean these are the different things that you can do, and it's a very data exploration kind of thesis. Lekin maybe you will find out generally in winters there is no happy news. Spring, summer, autumn mein there is lot of happy news, and most of the crime happens in summer, not in winters, not in autumn, not in spring. You have done, like maybe you have analyzed thousands of news articles. You have done using some sentiment analysis, emotions. You have done some kind of thing called topic modeling. Okay, write it down if you want. These techniques can be used, and you don't have to do, let's say कि पहले मैं 6 महीने data collect करूँगा फिर मैं काम करूँगा, नहीं. You collect 2 days of data, 3 days of data. Start applying techniques, because your code which works on 2 articles can also work on 5,000 articles, right? Maybe it will take more time, but it's fine. Okay? So this is what is a research or a exploratory based master thesis. Let's collect lot of text and let's try to see what people are doing. Now I give you an example of exploratory kind of analysis, but kai baar you also have research questions based thesis. Pehla research question is, when most of the crime news items appear in the whole year. So हमने पहले वाले में क्या किया, हमने डेटा देखा और बताया कि जो मोस्ट ऑफ द क्राइम समर में होता है, बट इसी चीज़ को आप रिसर्च क्वेश्चन बना लो कि कौन कौन से टाइम पे ज़्यादा होता है. Now if you are smart enough, you can even identify कि किस टाइम पर ये क्राइम हुआ था. इवनिंग में हुआ था कि मॉर्निंग में हुआ था, वीकेंड पे हुआ था या वीकडेज पे हुआ था. ठीक है, ये क्वेश्चंस आप बना सकते हो. फिर आप what you did an analysis, you frame a research question and you say we have find out using this technique when the crime happens. ठीक है, if your focus is crime, or when are the most happy news appear. ठीक है, you can also identify eateries. इन शिमला, ठीक है, उनके ब्लॉग्स होंगे या उनके फूड आइटम्स होंगे. You might say most of the non-vegetarian shops are around XYZ area, and around Zaku temple all eateries are vegetarian, for example. You can use a map, QGIS. QGIS is a software, maybe you know that. उस पे आप मैप पे उसको दिखा सकते हो लोकेशंस को. रेड हो गए, रेड में आप नॉन वेज को दिखा रहे हो, ग्रीन में आप वेजिटेरियन को दिखा रहे हो, ठीक है. सो you can use this information of to create a research questions, okay. NLP based techniques. You can also see, for example, misinformation, fake news. I told you that on Google News every day you can collect 4 news item, उसको analyze कर सकते हो. You can identify hate speech. Hate speech is a very big problem these days, right? Among religious groups, it could be among communities, ठीक है. एक कम्युनिटी विद इन अ रिलीजन, एक कम्युनिटी वालों ने दूसरी कम्युनिटी वालों के बारे में कुछ कमेंट कर दिया, एंड यू सी अ लॉट ऑफ ट्वीट्स कमिंग अप. यू कलेक्ट दीज ट्वीट्स, you analyze these tweets, and you say that these events triggered certain hate speech on the Twitter platform. Then you say, अच्छा जब भी हमने देखा ये जो hate है ये सिर्फ एक हफ्ते तक रहती है फिर चली जाती है. Okay, maybe you will see that generally people when they do a hate speech, it appears mostly on the weekends, mostly on the weekdays, ठीक है. विंटर्स में देयर इज नो हेट स्पीच, क्योंकि कुछ भी होगा लोग बाहर जाके लड़ेंगे नहीं कि मौसम इतना ठंडा है, राइट. सो मे बी हेट स्पीच अपीयर्स इन स्प्रिंग, ऑटम एंड समर, राइट. सो यू कैन कलेक्ट डेटा एंड ट्राई टू डू ऑल दीज NLP stuff. So techniques remains the same. Topic modeling, word cloud, right, emotions, sentiments, these are basic techniques, right. Now I will talk about novelty based techniques. ये तो इसमें कोई novelty नहीं है, ये जो हमने अभी just discuss है इसमें कोई novelty नहीं है. Research questions could be novel, but apart from it, you are using existing techniques to answer a question, and this is again an applied thing, applied kind of research problem. Let's say novelty. अच्छा, अभी तक wireless से ऐसा जाता था, and now I have proposed an algorithm जिससे 5 times speed पे जाएगा, ठीक है. अब मैंने ऐसा ड्रोन बनाया है जो 10,000 फीट तक जा सकता है, इट्स अ नॉवल, ठीक है. मैंने ऐसा फ्रेमवर्क बनाया है जो 10 सेकंड्स के अंदर ही प्रिडिक्ट कर लेगा जब भी ट्वीट आएगी वेदर इट्स हेट स्पीच और नॉट. देयर इज अ नॉवल्टी इन सम फ्रेमवर्क, टाइम, कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी और सो ऑन, ठीक है. सो these are the research questions that you could use. So if we look at hate speech, there are certain websites that you can go for. Twitter, Reddit. Have you heard of Reddit?
Yes.
Gab. Okay. Misinformation, I already told you, news.google.com pe. There are already other public available data sets like FEME, PHEME, FEME 5, FEME 9. These are the data sets that you can use for misinformation, rumor related things, okay. Generally you can always start with googling, is there any public available data sets with respect to misinformation with COVID in India, ठीक है. HASOC क्या है, एक चैलेंज है जो इंडियन लैंग्वेजेस से रिलेटेड हेट स्पीच आइडेंटिफाई करता है. HASOC, HASOC. Manusar was describing some things that you can put it in your CV. There is another thing that you can put it in your CV is technical challenges. क्या होता है कि जब एक वर्कशॉप या कॉन्फ्रेंस होती है, some people release their data sets. डेटा सेट रिलीज करते हैं जैसे कि कैगल पे डेटा सेट्स हैं, एंड दे आस्क पीपल टू पार्टिसिपेट एंड कम्पीट. एंड व्हाट यू कुड डू इज यू कैन क्रिएट अ ग्रुप ऑफ 3 to 4 people, for example. It's okay if you are not good at programming, this could be a way for you to learn. So 2 people can do programming, other 2 people can write a report. because at the end of the challenge you have to submit a report. So this way you can help each other and you can learn things. And if you have a challenge like this, you can also add in your CV. I participated in this challenge and I was ranked fifth. ज़्यादा हो गया rank तो मत लिखो rank. ठीक है ना? You just say I participated in challenge and this is my paper there. Participation, ठीक है, putting efforts is more important than what you have achieved. ठीक है? So so yeah, I mean we also have looked at, I'm not sure if you can get easily mobile call data records or financial transactions, but there are cryptocurrencies, उनके data set available हैं. So what we did, we collected a cryptocurrencies data sets and we used a graph neural network. Neural network आपने सुना होगा, ठीक है? So there is a thing called graph neural network. We use that to predict the transaction amount that will appear in somebody's account. Okay, so you can, there is always an alternative that you can use, that you can do. So yeah, I mean these are the different things that you could do. So I think that's it for the projects, and that's it from my side. Okay, so I hope